China and the United States have reached a preliminary trade deal. Let the markets rip and roar. This is officially hot off the press from the White House. Scott Bessent has put out a statement saying that they've had great talks, they've made preliminary trade deals, and they're going to make final announcements tomorrow. So obviously, this is very good news. This is great news for the markets. Stock market is probably going to do well in my humble opinion, but mostly we focus on crypto. Man, the crypto market is already in a bullish scenario. The bull run is back on. Now with this news, China was the big one we were waiting for. Now that we know that there's a preliminary trade deal on the table and it only took 2 days to get there, they even said in the statement that maybe they actually weren't as far apart as they thought they were. It took weeks to get here. There was a lot of turmoil, but we're here. The markets are going to respond really well to this. And already I've seen that crypto is already going up based off of this news. So this is fantastic. Let's see what the next few days hold. But the fact that we have we already have a UK trade deal. We have a deal with India pretty much done. Now we have a preliminary trade deal with China. Basically, all the other trade deals are just going to come down the line. China was the biggest one that people were looking at. And now that we know that we are moving in a very constructive direction and we're going to get more information tomorrow, this is just great news for the market. So congratulations if you held and if you bought those dips, boy, you're reaping the rewards of that. So all those people that were screaming recession, bear market, I got where they're coming from, but it just didn't make sense because it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. It doesn't make sense to throw the United States into recession when inflation is as low as it is, right? The only reason we would need to throw our country into recession is if inflation was crazy high. Inflation is really low right now. We're probably under 2%. And this is good news for the Federal Reserve because if inflation really is under 2%, which we see real-time indicators like Truflation showing that we're under 2%, and then the Federal Reserve indicators, which are often lagging, are having us just a little bit above 2%. The tariff situation, if this gets straightened out, there's really no reason for the Federal Reserve not to start cutting rates, to start stimulating the economy a little bit more. Because if inflation's tamed, and if jobs are holding steady, the Federal Reserve will probably, in my humble opinion, feel more comfortable cutting rates. So, I don't know. This is exciting news. So yeah, let the markets rip and roar, hopefully.